Hi, I'm participating in the CROCKtober collaboration that's happening with a bunch of YouTubers, and we're all putting together a different crock pot recipe for every day of October. So I'm going to put a link to all of those that are participating in the description down below, so you can check those out as well. Today I'm going to be making a butter chicken recipe, which is a curry. I have adapted it from this book here, which I really love. I've not actually found a curry in here that I don't enjoy. I do adapt this one a little bit to make it dairy free for my husband. He can't have dairy, and this particular recipe usually has butter, cream and yogurt in it, and I do make it like that usually, and it is amazing. But if we're having it as a family, we make it dairy free. So I have got some chicken thigh fillets. Actually, I'll turn you around and I'll show you loading it into the slow cooker. All I do is bung everything in the slow cooker and then leave it on high for about 6 hours, and then by the end of that it is done and it is beautiful. So I will turn you around so you can see, and I will tell you as I load them in, and then I'll just leave it on high for 6 hours, and we'll come back after that and you can see what it looks like cooked. Thankfully this is a really easy recipe, and it pretty much uses a tablespoon of each of the spices, and if you don't have one of the spices, that's okay, you can skip it out as well. So the first thing I'm putting in here is one onion cut quite finely. The finer you cut it, the less bitter and gross it'll be at the end. Onion in a slow cooker sometimes develops quite a bitter flavour, so try and cut it finely as best as you can. To that I will also add a tablespoon of chopped up garlic, otherwise you can chop up 2 or 3 cloves of your own, and 1 big tablespoon of grated or mashed up ginger, fresh ginger. You can replace it with a teaspoon or 2 of dried ginger if that's all you have. And then into there I'm also going to add, this is 1 kilo or 2 pounds of thigh fillets that I have cut each fillet into 3 or 4 pieces. There's no real science there, just cut them into bits that are going to be easy to eat. Now we're going to add our spices to this. Now this is something called masala, which is a pre-mixed spice mix, and it comes in all sorts of types. Use your favorite one, otherwise you can just buy one called garum masala from the store. And then we're going to add, so there's 1 tablespoon of that, 1 tablespoon of sweet paprika. You can use smoky if you don't have sweet, but it does change the flavor somewhat. I'm using about 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, but you can add a cinnamon stick if you have one. I don't, so I'm not using one. About 1 tablespoon of coriander and 1 tablespoon of cumin. Now if you have the whole seeds of these, you can use them, just use the same amount, it'll work just as well. And the next thing is cardamom pods. These are these little things here. Again, if you don't have them, that's okay, but it does add quite a specific flavour to it. This just uses 5 cardamom pods that you just crush, either with the back of your knife, or I'm going to use my mortar and pestle. They add quite a lemony sort of flavour to it, so just throw those in there. So that's pretty much all the spices, and then I add the rind and the juice of 1 lemon. If you are making it with yogurt and cream, you can just use like 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, but because I'm adding coconut cream instead, it needs that extra tang from the extra lemon. So I've got 1 cup of coconut cream and 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. And then all you have to do is give that a bit of a mix. Now whether you want to add salt and sugar, that is up to you. The recipe has 1 teaspoon of sugar and no salt. I like to do it the other way around and add 1 teaspoon of salt and no sugar. So I'll leave that up to you which flavour profile you prefer. And I nearly forgot the chilli, so you can add whatever chilli you prefer. Again, this is for the children, so I'm just adding about 1/2 teaspoon to 1/4 teaspoon of chili flakes. The recipe itself calls for 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder. And then I'm just going to add a lid onto that and pop it on high for 6 hours, and we will come back here and I'll show you what it looks like. And here we are 6 hours later with a really tasty looking curry ready to eat. We usually serve it up with some rice and some roti or naan bread, and it's ready to go. So I encourage you to give this recipe a try. It's definitely one of my favorites. And also be sure to check out the other CROCKtober recipes from the other people down below. And if you click on the hashtag CROCKtober, it should take you to most of them. We'll see you in the next one.